What's up, people? Nobody's here yet. Had a long day today. I had to stay home. My little boy had strep, so I figured what. Right now I'm in the garage. It's empty. Little workout room, really. That's what it is now. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me say this, man. I was watching a video by Boyce Watkins yesterday, and Boyce is, I have nothing but respect for Boyce. He's got the Black Business School and things like that. I do have the coding class. Class starts. It's not just coding though. I teach business intelligence, T-SQL development, as well as I teach you how to conduct yourself on interviews. We do mock interviews. It's a lot to it. At any rate, the class is pretty much gonna start Saturday morning. Okay. The class is gonna start Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. If you're interested, go to my video I did a couple of videos ago about IT Check Stub Motivation. That video will kind of get you ready, you know what I'm saying, and let you understand what, okay, if you want to join, go ahead and look in the video called, yeah, thank you, okay, IT Check Stub Motivation. But let me kind of give you guys something right there. So the other day, or last night, was comments, and I've seen this, and I've seen a big comment made by a lot of us in the Black community. A lot of us tend, what's up, Renee? A lot of us tend to make these comments, and I get tired of it. And it's not, and it usually comes from someone who doesn't do real estate, number one. Either it comes from someone who doesn't do real estate, or from someone who is an intellectual, person that sits around and watches Fox News, high IQ person, usually very high IQ, but low execution, haven't done much in real estate. Because those I know who do real estate, I know people who've done real estate and have made a lot of money in it. Son, you're gonna have to be quiet. Okay, so I know people who made a lot of money in real estate, who own a lot of houses, they rent a lot of properties out. And one point I want to make, let me get out of here, because this boy making too much noise. But anyway, the people I know that own a lot of real estate, they don't really talk about the ebb and flow of the market. Like, this is the thing you got to understand. Okay, let's give you, if I give you a 100-unit apartment building, right? And that apartment building is on average bringing in, let's say $1,500 a month on average, right? Now, the housing bubble does whatever y'all can keep, because I've been hearing this a lot. Oh, real estate's gonna mess up. The market's gonna crash. This, that. Most people that you hear talking like that are people that ain't never done real estate a day in their damn life. And they sit on their ass, watch the news, and they try to tell you not to invest in real estate. It depends on what you mean by investing in real estate. Because investing in real estate comes from, basically, it's a few ways you look at it. If you're trying to collect rents and you buy a property at a good rate, like if I give you a 30-unit apartment building or a 40-unit or 150 or whatever, and you rent that building out and that building is bringing in a sizable amount of money, that's not something that you guys can just say that the housing bubble will stop. Because if people aren't qualifying for loans, they still have to sleep at night, right? Where are they going to sleep? If people don't have a place to live, where are they going to? They're going to have somewhere to lay their heads. They're going to have somewhere to sleep. And that is where rental prices spike. If you go back in history and you look at during 2008's housing bubble burst, you will see that the rents spiked. If you own rental property in 2008, you made a killing. I remember distinctively living in an apartment complex. I remember distinctively living in an apartment complex, and they jump in $200 in a month. I mean, in a year's lease. This is what you see in real estate. And so when I hear, and that's primarily what Jay Morrison is saying, because Boyce Watkins was basically just saying, well, right to tell people real estate because the housing bubble and this and that. I'm like, people aren't speculating. That's for real estate speculators. That's for somebody that buys a house hoping that it's gonna spike spike X amount of percents in a year or 2 years, or someone who does, like, even if you do a rehab, right? If you do a rehab and that house is in, let's say you buy a house for $40,000. Now, the only thing that could hurt you on the rehab is if you're highly leveraged on the rehab. But if you buy a rehab and you rent a property out and sell that property, you sell a property, you buy the property, you rent it out. You renovate it and you sell it. Even if you take a hit, it depends on how much equity you have. If you buy a house for $40,000, fix it for $30,000, and the house is worth $170,000, and then the housing bubble takes a hit or whatever, you say, I'm just going to sell this house for $120,000. You took a hit, but you still might walk away with $30,000, $40,000. So real estate in any market, I don't care if the market is bad, because when the market is bad, the prices are low, you actually can buy more house. I wish I could go back in a time machine and buy a house in 2007, because if you could buy a property in 2007, you would understand that buying a house in 2007 will allow for you to get that property for next to nothing. I remember guys were renovating houses and building brand new properties in Atlanta in 2008, got foreclosed on, and people came in and bought those houses for 75, 65. I'm talking about a house that's worth 300, 250. They buy those houses for 100. And then they turn it around. Now those houses are worth a lot more. I'm going to tell you this. The best investment is an investment that you can control. Now, the reason Boyce Watkins said what he said was because he said, well, most people have their money in stock, right? He said that, right? He's like, well, most people have their money in stock. Let me explain something to you. Statistically, more people have jobs. There are more people that are having jobs that are... Stop making that noise, boy. More people have jobs. More people are able to get into the market and buy properties for next to nothing. I'm not buy properties, but more people are able to get into the market, drop money in their 401ks. There are so many people. Every job you get got a 401k program. Even if you're not maximizing or using it, the company, just because you're an employee, will put 3-4% of your check, or what your check would be. They would match it even if you ain't putting no money with it, or if you just put 1%, they'll give you an extra 1% or extra 2% or whatever. So yeah, people right now in the stock market right now, you got people with 401k. You got way more people with 401ks that aren't investors. So yeah, the numbers will be skewed because most of the money that people have, 401k, nest egg, compounding interest, has happened over the last 30, 40 years. So you got people that are millionaires that are created through the stock market. But to tell somebody that is 25 who understands real estate and has a better grasp of real estate, that's not a good investment and you should go with the stock market when you may or may not understand what you're talking about, I just think that's financially irresponsible. I don't give a damn if you do have a PhD in economics. Then what university you went to. It's better to understand the market that you're in, and if whatever the best investment is the investment that you understand. You see what I'm saying? I'd rather somebody, if you understand how to rent out a duplex, and you can buy quadruplexes and duplexes, and by the time your ass is 50, or even let's say you 38, 40, 45, you late, you don't have any retirement. You could try to drop some money into an investment like a 401k, and I would advise you to do that. I'm not saying you can't do that. Why not use both of them? But it seems like when people become fans of one investment, they have to put down the other investment. Like, you gotta stop. We gotta stop that as black people. I've heard so many people in my comment sections in my videos say stuff like, well, man, real estate's not a good investment because the bubble's gonna burst. As if everybody that does real estate investment, what about people that own parking decks? Is that a bad investment? What about people that own, like I said, rental property? If people's stop lending money, then housing is still, there's still a demand. I gotta live, like, a person has to live somewhere. I don't give a damn if they got a mortgage or not. Rents will spike. We saw this in 2008, 2009. People was getting ridiculous with rents. I'm from Montgomery. You used to go rent a house in the hood for $350 in Montgomery. You'll be lucky to get a house in the hood right now for $550, $600. I'm talking about in a damn war zone. You can get $600. It never was like that. I ain't gonna say never, but it had been. The prices in Montgomery have been stuck around $400 for years. That damn last housing bubble happened and prices spiked ridiculously. So I'm sorry. Like, and what gets me is I hate to see people try to speak on sectors that they really have no experience in, especially the educated people. Respect, with all due respect, I respect Boyce because I think his heart was in the right place. But I don't think Boyce is really a real estate guru to be telling somebody that the Tulsa Real Estate Fund isn't really a, shouldn't be, he shouldn't be telling people to go into real estate like he's doing because of the housing bubble. As if this guy has no diversification in his portfolio. Sorry about that. I was saying that he shouldn't be.
You can't get me.
All right, we're gonna try this again. I'm sorry, people. But like I was saying, real estate always makes sense in the right market if you have the right, mindset, if you have the right attitude. If right now, if the best investment for me is cryptocurrencies, because I understand cryptocurrencies, then cryptocurrencies would be the best investment for you. If real estate is the best investment for you because you understand real estate, then real estate is the best investment. If mutual funds, stock markets, penny stocks, whatever it is that you choose to invest in is the best investment for you, then damn it, that's the best investment for you. But to tell people that because the housing bubble is about to happen, your ass need to be getting ready. That's what you need to be doing. You need to be fixing your credit. You need to be like, right now I'm doing a flip. I get out this flip, I'm waiting. I did the flip because I tried to do this. I started on this damn property 2 and 3 months ago. But it took me that damn long for a lot of reasons I don't want to get into. But at the same time, this property's ready. As soon as I get this property, not ready, but when it's ready, I'm putting it on the market. I'm going to sell it. But I'm going to be in the damn property damn near a little bit over 60%. And the other 40%, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where you want to be. I'm not highly leveraged. I can afford to make the payment on the property. See what I'm saying? Because it's not a ridiculously high interest rate. But the point I want to make to y'all, man, is like, don't listen. We got to stop. We got to stop making these points. We got to stop letting people. Son, you got to. Oh, let me walk over here. Sorry. He follow me everywhere I go. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta know who to listen to or who's just really just talking out their ass. Like, with all due respect. Like I said, I respect Boyce Watkins, but hold on to every damn whim. He catches on everything that he sees moving. Like, if something gets hot, he moves with it. If he sees, Bitcoin is hot, now he's making more Bitcoin videos because Bitcoin is climbing. So now he's back to making those. Then he made a video about ADOS, and then now he's like, okay, what's the name pissed me off? I'm not ADOS anymore. I'm gonna stop pushing that whole agenda. I'm like, well, the bullet points of the agenda ain't got shit to do with Yvette. In tone, that's just the agenda is the agenda. Well, but that's a whole different thing. But the point I'm trying to make is, let's stop listening to people that really haven't done things. It's the problem. We got so many folks in the Black community that love to talk on shit that they ain't did or they're not doing. And they act like they're authorities, especially the ones that went to school and got a degree. Those are the main ones we need to be weary of. And I got a degree. And I was working on my MBA as well, but I didn't finish. But I understand that you got to be careful. And really, I'm not saying just because a person has a degree, they don't know what they're talking about. I won't even go as far as to say a person who hasn't done something by a particular subject. However, where I would draw the line is when you with a grain of salt, go do your own research, make sure you best investment. I'm not saying I back the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, but I'm not finna put because they're gonna stop lending in a minute. The housing bubble, the housing, there's gonna be a recession, so The recession is when the money is made. That is why you see what they call what, son?
Let's see who's at the door.
Nobody's at the door. I can see it on the phone, son. Nobody's at the door, okay? But what I'm saying is, if there's a recession, right now, get your credit up. Right now, start stacking your money. Right now, why? Because if they're in that recession, when it corrects, that's when you can buy houses. That's when you can go into the stock market and buy stocks at rock bottom prices. That's when you want to get. I don't put a lot of money in the stock market. You know what I'm saying? Like the stock market had X amount of millions of dollars, and then all of a sudden it drops down to $500,000, or it might drop down to 600,000. Yeah, it's all principle you playing with anyway. But at the same time, do you want to lose that kind of money? Whereas with me in real estate, if I got a rental property, see, let me tell you something about the evaluation, how to evaluate value in real estate. If the market goes down, that's the best thing for somebody with rental property. Because if the market goes down, motherfuckers gonna come look at the demand goes up. And somebody who made it, look, with all due respect, somebody who majors in economics should know that if the demand goes up, the price rises with the demand until it reaches equilibrium. So the equilibrium of the supply and demand. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but thereby causing people to have to pay a higher amount. So when the demand goes down, when there's scarcity in the market of rental property, how much is rent going to be? If you go to a rental place and they got a waiting list and they fully rent it, what you think they're going to charge you when you come and ask them for a new lease? Y'all, I mean, come on, Black. What's your experience? If you've ever rented before, which a lot of us have, if they're not lending, if you can't get qualified for a loan and you in a nice area, let's say somebody comes along and they say they want to rent that property, what they going to charge? They going to take that shit up. They going to take it up for no reason. And then on top of that, you got a phantom cost called depreciation. So real estate is a hell of an investment. And he said, well, man, most of the rich people only got okay, let's look at it. Because if you name off the black billionaires in the country, like Oprah, Oprah made hers in a business. Okay, so being in a business, being in the right place, Michael Jordan, Robert Smith, these people benefited from business. Okay. The millionaire guys that you see that got their money portfolios and stock are good. Just because you've been preaching, and that's the thing, I feel like he's been preaching stock, put your money in and invest over time. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Dave Ramsey. I think that is a smart thing, and I wouldn't dare tell you not to do that. What do you mean, do I own a flip? Now I'm renting this property I'm in. I'll tell the truth. I'm renting. I'm finna build. I'm trying to build, man. I want to build my own property. That's another discussion, but I had a license before. When you build, you can pretty much put $250,000 worth of equity in your pocket in Atlanta if you just go borrow $200,000. And the payments on $200,000 ain't that much, but if you give me $200,000, I'll build a $400,000 house, $450,000, easy. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to make is this: like, there comes a time where like with real estate, man. Well, this is, to me, a prime time. It's about to crest. It's about to turn over. The price is about to drop. To get my cash up, I did that deal. Because when I'm gonna get some more cash, get you 70, 100, 150, 200. You king. Because the banks, let me tell you something. Before the housing bubble, I was in the housing game. Before the housing bubble of 2008, you can walk in a bank with 5 to 10% down and do tabs at a regular bank. Now every bank you see is 20% down. You see what I'm saying? Every bank I see wants 20%. That cut out a lot of the rookies. That cut out a lot of people that just had a little money. You got to come with 20%. Now, if you got 10 to 15, they might talk to you. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this is the thing. Like, let's listen to people that done did it, that done been there, that know what's up. You'll never hear me disparage the stock market. I've never done it on a massive scale. I done real estate on a decent enough scale to where I know for a fact. I know people. I got people right now. My Haitian homeboy I did on that video that I was talking about. I know for a fact that he made most of his properties and made his killing when the market was down. Right now, he say, man, it's harder to buy properties. Right now, because everybody and their mama back in the market. What you doing, boo? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's back in the market. So right now, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we educate ourselves. We want to make sure that we are intelligent when we make choices to buy properties. And then we want to make sure that we ain't listening to somebody that's giving us some fucked up advice. Because I just listened to that video. It pissed me off. Because I felt like, I'm like, damn, you just pulling this out your ass. Like, I hate somebody just shooting from the hip and think, okay, well, I got a degree. Like, okay, so just because you got a degree, that means I'm supposed to just shut up when I got X amount of years of experience in doing this. If somebody understands this and to be different, please explain to me why real estate doesn't make sense. If the market is about to turn right now, why doesn't it make sense? In fact, it makes sense in any market. Right now, it still makes sense because people buying. But if I right now know that, let's say right now I go buy an apartment complex and the numbers make sense. Let me tell you guys a secret of how you evaluate an apartment complex. You got a 16-unit apartment complex like the one I'm looking at, right? And that's why I made this video, because I thought, like, I got a 16 unit I'm trying to buy. I'd be happy as hell. It's boarded up. It's got like 3 or 4 units rented out. I could probably fix each unit for about 6,000, 7,000, 10,000 on average. Let's say 10,000. So I spend 160. I get it to me for 160. That's 320, right? Payments on that is about 12. Let's say 12 something, right? So half of those properties rented, 8 times 6 is $4,800. If you could take half of a property's rental income and account, thank you. If you can account, you can do that. What you doing, boo? If you can account for the rent, not the rent, the debt service, which is $1,200, maintenance, and vacancy, which usually, in order to calculate that, what you want to try to do is say 30% of the actual gross net income. So 30%. So basically, even for that monthly, if you take 30% of the full amount, which at the full amount, 16 times 96. So that's $3,000. So 3,000 plus another 12 leaves you about $3,200. Right? That should give you maintenance, vacancy, upkeep, and everything. So 32, and I said half is 48. So that means that's a good deal. It's when you cross $4,800 when a apartment complex become a bad investment. Okay, that's how you look at real estate. When you look at a rental, let's do a small example. Let's just do a duplex. You got a duplex, right? Duplex rent for, let's say, $1,000 a side, $2,000. You buy the duplex for $150, right? Maintenance, upkeep, everything run you about, let's say. You still say 30%, 24,000. So you know what I'm saying? You got 24,000 for the year. So 30% of that, 24 times 3, $7,200. Taken out, bagged out from that would be about 24 minus 7, 17, about 17,400, right? So that's 17,400 or 16,800, something like 16,400. That 16,400 is what's left. Now you got another way you evaluate it by what's called your capitalization rate or your cap rate. In the hood, you're looking at about 10 to 11% cap. You divide it by 0.11. So that means if that property is only worth about 160,000 at 0.10 at 10% cap rate. So that's a decent cap rate, but it ain't the best. 10% is good. You know what I'm saying? 7% if you're in a good prime area where it's a great area, 7-8%, that's a good one. But a area where you live in where it's like it's more, maybe a little bit more hood, you start getting the double digits. Some of them go as high as 15%. So it's a couple of ways you could do evaluation to know if a property makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's a YouTube channel called Bigger Pockets. I would advise you guys to watch those videos and educate ourselves on that because it's free. A lot of education right now. A lot of education is free. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. I'm gonna tell you, it's more expensive. Ignorance is way more expensive than knowledge. ignorance of the law, ignorance of tax code, ignorance of listening to somebody. Bad advice is very expensive. Tell your ass to stay away from real estate right now, and you listen to them, and then the damn market crash, and then people turn around. Well, the rich getting richer. Yeah, the rich getting richer because you listen to the wrong people. Stop, boo. You listen to the wrong people tell you that you shouldn't be out here doing real estate. You know what I'm saying? In any market, rental depends. So you telling me so you telling me that a parking deck, which is real estate, doesn't make sense? Huh? Is that what you're telling me? So you telling me that Ray Kroc, who was in the real estate business, didn't make sense? If he said, I wasn't in the hamburger business, I'm in the real estate business. It's when, man. He opened up McDonald's in a recession. It don't make no difference. You gotta and to me, I'm gonna tell you something. This is just my personal opinion. I think real estate is better, but I'm not informed enough on the stock market to just outright say that. See what I'm saying? So I wouldn't dare say that, but I will say this. I think real estate is better. And I think that a person right now, if you just bought every other year, every 2 years, you bought a duplex or a quadruplex and you paid $150 or less for that. And every year you buy one. And every year, every month after expenses, you clear about $700, $600, whatever. You buy one every other year. So you buy one, maintain it. Buy one, maintain it. By the time you get to 10 years, you're only at 5. But by now you're making so much money rent-wise, even if you just clearing $600-$700 rent off that quadruplex or your duplex or whatever, even if you just clearing $600 rent, you're talking about $3,500 a month. If you still working, think about it, that's faster than, to me, in 10 years, compound interest could be good, but what if the stock market took a hit? You got to recover and recuperate. Oh, if you taking that $3,500 every month and just paying it down, and you just say, man, I'm just going to hit that first duplex. You do a debt snowball, as they call it, but you do it on that first duplex, and you pay that duplex off in like, Lord knows how fast at $3,500 a month. That's pretty fast. So in 2.5 years, you paid off the first one. Well, that was worth 150. So you just increased your net worth by that much. You're still paying the minimum on the other ones that you bought. So you're still paying your mortgage. So you still got some equity. Now you hit the second one. But you instead of getting 3,500, you getting way more because now you ain't got to service the debt on that first one. So now you might be getting like 4,400. You know what I'm saying? And you hit that second one. You pay that second one off. By the time you get to 25 years, take in mind now, you still buying now. You still buying, and every other year you paying them off to the point where you could damn near buy these duplexes cash. So by the time you get to your zenith of your retirement, and let's say you did 40 years, let's say you started at 25, you did 40 years. Your ass got like, I don't know how many properties. First of all, you buying big properties. Now you buying big boy stuff because you own so many rental units. You making so much a month. You see what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about, okay, the market crashed. Damn, I lost 40%. That don't happen in real estate. Rents are going to be where they going to be. You ain't going to have no 35-40% drop in rent. I ain't never seen that. You might have, the only way you have a drop in rent is if some major bad negative stuff happens in that area, which you can avoid. You probably won't be able to avoid it as much with your first properties as you will well past that 10th year. Now you starting to buy good properties, more expensive properties. You starting to have the cash to come in and put to it. And then when the housing bubble happened, you happy as hell. Because now you can come in there and you can put down, a 50, 60,000 cash on a damn property that's worth $1 million. They'll mess around and work a deal with you because the dude that was doing it was a builder, or he behind on his payments because he got caught up. When people get caught up, the economy is an ecosystem. Hence the word ecosystem and economy. The reason they call it currency is because it flows like a river, just like electricity flows like a current. That's why they call it an electrical current. It's an ecosystem. It's just like water. They tell us that water falls out the sky, sun bakes it, it evaporates up. You know what I'm saying? And it just keeps going. Human beings the same way. We eat food. One day we gonna die. We turn into dirt, and we replenish the plants. And it's the same. It's a cycle. And the same goes for eating. If you don't look at it like that, you really kind of hurting yourself. You really are. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not this, going after Boyce Watkins. I got respect for him and all that. I just disagree with his whole premise about income, about rent, man, about real estate. And that's the point that I see, man. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, one thing I noticed about people on the internet, a lot of times when people get on the internet, they follow their people pleasers, and they follow the crowd, and they make points based on what the crowd tells them, what they feel like is hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will disrespect a segment of people if they feel like, okay, well, I can disrespect this group of people because it's more economic for me to do that. Like, it's not gonna hurt me. You know what I'm saying? To say F this group of people or say something disparaging to this group. Like the other day I saw Boyce, he was talking about Tyler Perry, which I love what Tyler Perry said, right? When Tyler Perry got up and made that speech, right? Tyler Perry made some beautiful points on that speech, but Boyce went public, and this is why I made this part of the reason I made it. I didn't say anything. I was offended, but I didn't say anything. He went and did a video. He's like, yeah, Boyce, Tyler Perry's building his own thing. He's doing his own thing, this and that. And Tyler Perry doesn't have a middleman, see, and that's the problem. You can't have a middleman, this and that. And so look at it. He said, I'm not trying to disparage people's religion. I don't do that. But look at Christianity. They tell you that you can't get to God unless you go to the white man through Jesus, who's a white man. I'm like, so you just insulted everybody's intelligence that goes to church and think that we all think that Jesus looked like Caesar Boyce. Like that's offensive to me. That you would even come up and say something. Why you even went there and said that? Like, I only think I can get to God through a white man. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, when most people
take you downstairs.
Okay, boo. Mwah. Get that in a minute, okay?
Okay.
So let's look at it for a second. So if a person, like when Jesus, because me, I think if Jesus looked like anybody, he probably looked more like Nipsey Hussle. Let's just be real. That's what I would think he would look like. That's what I really would think he would look like. But I'm not trying to push on that narrative that they call it Nipsey Hussle Christ or Nipsey Christ or stuff. People going all in with it. But the thing is, when the black community was with that, when they were into that, we actually flourished more. So I don't know why people got to take jabs at something just because it's the popular in thing to do, because everybody watches the country's woke television shows now or YouTube channels where people make little comments like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to hold no damn line. I don't really care about being cool. I don't care about people liking me. I don't care about people subscribing to my channel because they think I'm woke. I go to church. That's what I am. Hey, you don't like it? Hey, it is what it is. We can agree to disagree. Me, I'm about black economic empowerment. That ain't got nothing to do with my faith. It really don't. I don't see a white man and be like, oh my God, there's Jesus. Oh my God, he's God. Like, if you listen to my channel and think that I think that the white man is God, that is the most intellectually bullshit I ever heard in my life. You lazy as hell. You ain't done any. You don't want to. Instead of you trying to listen to me to understand what it is I believe, you just go try to play some sort of caricature of what you see people professing online on me, and to make me look stupid, and to make our ancestors look stupid, to make our ancestors who were revolutionaries that went to church and built Black Wall Street and built all these economic powerhouses all over the United States. You just shitting on them brothers. They were way more effective than we are today, sitting on YouTube talking. Instead of us talking, we need to get out here and actually take action and do something and reach in the community and really try to make, and change stuff. I'm not taking jabs. This ain't all aimed at boys. I'm just saying in general. But like I said, man, be careful who you listen to. Be careful who you get your advice from. And for the life of me, man, like, be your own person, man. Don't let nobody, if you go to church, if you don't, even if you're an atheist, I got some atheists that subscribe, shout out to you. Hey, man, respect. It is what it is. We can build together. We ain't got to go after you. We ain't got to be enemies. Just don't disrespect me. I'm not making videos talking about atheists. Oh, they have no morals. I don't do that. I'm not going after them. But all right, boy, I hit you up. But I'm definitely not gonna go after people. I don't want people going after me. I'm the one that every time I cut YouTube on, I'm being insulted and told I'm stupid and told that I worship white Jesus. That's a slap in the face. You see what I'm saying? And what the problem is you say that to people that builders. We will tell a guy like Tyler Perry, who is to me, if anything y'all want to go watch, man, go watch Atlas Shrugged. Atlas Shrugged is on here, or maybe not the movie, but go and watch like little segments and snippets of it. Listen to Ayn Rand. She talked about Atlas Shrugged. If you really want to be honest, a lot of businessmen, I've been in the church, it's a lot of good businessmen that go to church that, you know, like, and I think that when you take people shit on and disrespect Tyler Perry, but real talk, the people that's talking about Tyler Perry can't lace Tyler Perry's shoes. They really can't. With all due respect, none of these people that's on YouTube, none of these people that got these little podcasts, doing these little documentaries. Look, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. This man is changing lives. This man has went and provided thousands of jobs. He's actually he's did something. He created his own studio. That is tangible. That is something we can count and measure. That's not knowledge. See, black men, we love to try to act like we so knowledgeable and we got all the knowledge. It's a ton of teachers out here. We got a knowledge problem. We got a resource problem. We need more producers. We got a society that's full of knowledge with no producers. If you want to get knowledge right now, all you got to do is cut on YouTube. I'm sure somebody else live right now on YouTube, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, putting you up on game. That's not, we don't have a shortage of that. But we do have a shortage of actual resources in our community that we don't go actually take advantage of. Because we got so many people, there's so many people that's bitter and angry about the past that we can't deal with. I'm like, shit, man, you've been bitter since. I know people that's on YouTube every day. I mean, on Facebook every day, posting about something, taking a jab at Christianity, tagging me on. Every time I go on YouTube, some nigga done tag me, saying something stupid, trying to piss me off, right? And then I'm sitting like, dude, you've been doing this like since 2009. It's been a decade. Why don't you build, man? Why don't you do something? Quit trying to tag people and take jabs at folks all the time. That's my problem with it. But we don't do that. We want to sit around and take and like talk about stuff. We'll sit and what does Umar say? Intellectually masturbate about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Because I'm gonna tell you something. If I was to resurrect the people from Kemet and the people that built the pyramids and were the center of the known world at the time, they'll look at us like, what the hell are you doing? They'll look at us like, you my ancestors? Like, I'm ashamed. Like, I'm being honest. Because they're like, man, why don't you do this? Why don't you? Let's do something. I'm challenging everybody that's listening to this. I'm going to challenge you right now. Get out there in your communities. Do something. If it's just joining a big brothers organization and volunteering and pouring a child, do that. You ain't got to be out here. It ain't always, everything ain't got to be economic. Be a good father to your child. You know what I'm saying? Be a good husband. Get life insurance. Put some mutual funds. Buy some property. Do something. You see what I'm saying? I just want to push us, educate as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? Straight away from like what matters. To me, what matters is resources, real tangibles, something that I can count and measure. That's that. And when we listen, and like I said originally when I started this video, watch who you get your advice from. It's sifted. They say, what is it? The Bible says there's wisdom in the multitude of counsel. Okay? So make sure that when you hear somebody tell you something like real estate ain't a good investment because the housing, because it's going to turn, this ain't a good time to be buying houses. Come on, man. Come on. This ain't a good time to be buying houses. Seriously. So if I go buy, when I say houses, I ain't talking about just single family. I'm talking about multifamily as well. So real estate, and we know what's his face ain't really out here just doing one style of investment. That's the thing. Like one thing I respect about the Tulsa Real Estate Fund with Jay Morrison, that brother out here in these streets taking action. And if he go teach, he goes straight up in the hood, look brothers in their face, talk to them, and he's out here trying to teach brothers how to do something. And he just put out a testimonial video of one of the brothers that was one of his students that actually did something. So at least he is trying to, he is trying. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying everything he does is right. I'm not saying I agree with every move he take. I don't. But at the same time, like I ain't agree with him selling tickets to his wedding. But at least the brother, at least Jay Morrison is out here talking about tangibles. You talking about tangibles, and then you got somebody else that's just out here that talks about tangibles, but not necessarily actually taking action towards those tangibles. Whereas Jay Morrison actually takes action, and then he's aligned himself with people like Don Peoples. I'm sorry, like Don Peoples a billionaire. I mean, millionaire, whatever, make a lot of money. I don't think he's gonna be hurt. I think that brother's gonna invest in hotels. In fact, you saw those two conferences I went to. I'm looking at going to NABHOOD next. NABHOOD is the National Association of Black Hotel Owners Hope Conference or whatever. Go there, man. It's in Miami. I think it's at the end of July. I'm gonna have to look into it. I think it might be next week. If it is, I ain't going. But if I can remotely get to that conference, I'm gonna go to that one because that's where the guy you saw on my channel, Evans Charles. This guy, let me tell you what he did, and I'm gonna get off. Evans Charles he started flipping, right? He made, like he said, he made like $20,000 off his first property. Then he kept going. He said he took that whole check. He didn't spend a dime. And he put it back into his real estate. He kept buying. See, because cash is king in real estate. So come here, boy. Let me wipe your nose. Come here. So, cash is king in real estate, right? So what he did was he took his money. He was disciplined. He wasn't going shopping. He wasn't buying cars. And what he did was, boy, get down. Don't get up there. He went and he said, man, he met a guy. He went to the NABHOOD conference. He said he was sitting there and he saw black men talking about 30, 40, 60, $80 million deals. And he was wowed by that. And he said to himself, if he can do it and he a black man, I can do it. And that's what he did. And now the brother, he went and bought a property down there in right by downtown Atlanta, right over there by the underground. He got properties all up in DC. He owned a bunch of hotels. He done bought. I mean, this is a black man. So, I mean, you telling me he did this back in 05. He was doing this in 05 and 06, right before the housing bubble happened. Now look at him. He worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Why didn't he go under like everybody else did? Because I'm going to tell you who went under in 05 or in 08. The people that went under in 08 were speculators. They were accountants. They were school. What's wrong with you? They were accountants. They were school teachers. And they were people that did other stuff. But they weren't people that were actual real estate investors. Okay? Y'all be blessed. I will check you guys later. Thank you.